Namaste and welcome to our Yin Yoga class. The style of Yin Yoga is different from being restorative, and it is different for the nice waking up, faster pace vinyasa flows. So in a Yin Yoga, you just want to settle into your breath, into your body. So we're going to start in a comfortable seated position. I have a blanket to elevate my hips. You can just cross at your ankles if you have the full lotus position. And then you try to extend those arms. Allow the front of your breast to be near by your knees. Take a nice deep breath through the nose. And feel your exhalation. Take another breath. And continue just breathing as you start to pay attention to the sound that will be coming. Notice the vibration of this singing bowl. And notice the vibration in every part of your body, especially those parts that we cannot see with your naked eyes. One of the benefits to be here in a seated position is to have our roots at the base of the spine towards the earth. And feel the top of your head reaching upwards towards the sky. And this is what happens in our life. There are events and moments to connect us, to be grounded. And there are other moments where we are uplifted, when we are inspired. And as yoga practitioners, we just observe those two opposites and we dwell in the union of both of them. So the practice of Yin is that most of the poses are seated and we hold them for a period of time. With your inhalation, I invite you to feel the energy that goes up on the left side of your spine from your tailbone all the way to your neck. And as you exhale, that semi-orbit finish its route coming to the right side, descending from the neck all the way down to the base of the spine, the tailbone. When it completes that orbit. And then again, inhale, feel the energy ascending on the left side in the back. Exhaling, descending on the right side. Feel the luminosity in you, within you. Notice if your mind is wandering or if you're here in the present moment. And if you notice that it's somewhere else, without any judge, just return back to your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Now I invite you to take 3 deep breaths as we're going to say goodbye to this pose. So feel your exhalation, notice your shoulders, second breath, and your last breath. Very nice. And then from here, we're going to be changing the shape of your body. We're going to go into what we call Balasana, child pose. So come into your hands and knees. Separate those knees a little wider. Sit down back in your heels. Extend the arms forward. And then allow the forehead to rest. If it doesn't come all the way down, you have the option to bring a block or the same blanket. Feel the closeness of your thighs to your abdomen. I like to imagine being this child with the qualities of innocence, playfulness. Try to relax your teeth. And we're giving in this pose a beautiful massage to your heart because the lungs and the spine are on top of the heart in this position. Try to relax and feel the breath flowing playfully and with purity. No obstacles, just like a child, nothing is going to prevent them to do what they want to do, right? They believe. So inhale faith, exhale fear. Just like with every inhalation, physiologically, we are bringing oxygen, prana, to our being. The same way, bring faith. Faith is that unshakable, belief that it is possible. Conviction, unshakable conviction that it can be. And exhale fear. Fear, many times, it's a big obstacle to fulfill our dreams. Or not just our dreams, but fulfill our path, our dharma. Now take nice 3 deep breaths as we're going to say goodbye to this pose. Very nice. At the end of your third, you slowly start to lift up your head. Elevate those forearms. And we're just going to do your cat and cow. So this is cow and this is cat pose. Just to counter pose the child pose for a moment. And then slowly we're going to do our Sphinx pose. So if you want to bring a little extra padding for your pelvic floor, forearms down, press the palms, and then just lift up the chin. It is in this pose that we're activating the thyroid gland, a very important gland. Every gland has a function to produce hormones. Hormones are natural chemical substances in the body that they serve as a certain activity. And the malfunction of a hormone or the imbalance brings illness. So notice how in Yin Yoga we try to find our depth. So find your depth. Usually it takes a couple of breaths, not as soon as we enter into the pose. And then be still. So we try not to move at all. Just the involuntary organs will be moving as the diaphragm, the digestive system, but everything else, you help it, you motivate it to be still. Here we're receiving a beautiful massage in the lumbar 3 and 4, those vertebrae. According to the Zen tradition, it is in this point that we specific energy that we call yin. And that is what gives us enthusiasm, energy to continue doing what we need to do. Take 3 breaths to say goodbye to this Sphinx pose. And the last breath. Nice. And then slowly walking those hands underneath your shoulders. Maybe you're coming into a little cobra or a more extended cobra for a moment. And then we can come into your downward facing dog as a counter pose. Relax your head down and your chin into the chest for a moment. Breathe in and breathe out. Take one more breath. And then exhaling slowly. You're going to bend the knees. And we're going to be into this pose of, we call it caterpillar. So we're here. You can sit down on your hips, elevating the hips, sit down on something. I'm going to sit down on the blanket. And then I have here 2 pillows that I can use to go into a folding forward. So I can even fold it to make it a little bigger. Take a nice deep breath. And then as I exhale, I fall forward. You know, usually Yin Yoga is practiced in the night when the sun cannot be seen and when the light of the moon is perceived by all creation. But usually we eat later in the evening. So just be aware, if you just ate, you won't be able to go as deep into your reflection because we're contracting, we're folding the abdomen. So very slowly, carefully, pay attention. Maybe relax your head on that pillow. And the name of this pose is caterpillar. A caterpillar that needs to slide from place to place, finding the comfort of a delicious leaf. So allow your breath to bring that nourishment in your connective tissues, especially in your lower back, the hip flexors. Notice how wonderful is your breath, how soft. How gravity is pulling you down and you surrender. That's what it's Yin about. So we have those three components. Finding your depth, then be still, and finally holding the pose for a certain period of time. So sometimes in a Yin class, we activate slightly certain muscles, but mainly we just learn to relax the muscles. It is something we need to learn how to relax in life. Because we're very good at multitasking. But relaxing, let us learn this skill. Now we're going to have 3 deep breaths as a way of preparing our body. That is going to be time to change to another shape. Nice. When you finish that 3rd breath, very slowly, feel the tenderness in the vertebrae, in the neck, in the lower back. Very nice. If you had a pillow or something, you can remove that prop to the side. Very nice. And then from a caterpillar, we're going to become a butterfly. So I'm going to invite you to bring the soles of the feet together and to start lay down your back. And we're going to open those arms in a cactus position to have the chest more open. So notice the front of the body. It is exposed to the moonlight. Allow all the stars on the heaven to be able to admire you right now. Closing your eyes, feeling your breath. So in a Yin Yoga class, our job is to relax the muscle so we can go beyond of where the muscle is. So we arrive to ligaments and tendons and to connective tissues. We hardly ever stretch those connective tissues, only at resting when we go to bed. And if we don't sleep our adequate 8 hours, then we're lacking this healthy stretch of these tissues. So I'm very grateful that you're here today. Notice your inner thighs and your heart. So we're activating the meridians of the lungs. Two nice, healthy lungs. So from a caterpillar, you have become this butterfly that you're learning to be still. If you notice at a certain point you're resisting, please surrender. Remember yourself to inhale faith and exhale, release the fear. Notice your lips and the muscles in your face. Let us have 3 deep breaths to let the body know that it's almost time to move to the next pose. Last breath, very nice. Exhaling slowly. Bring those arms back, hands in your abdomen, and then gently let the knees be up towards the sky as you walk your feet out to the sides. And then we're going to do the internal rotation of the hips. So allow the knees to turn, internal rotation. And sometimes in the practice of yoga, you get cold, and that's normal. If you're cold and you have your blanket and you want to place it nearby, feel free. It is in the coldness that we can stretch those ligaments. Having your hands in your lower abdomen give us a great opportunity to feel the breath with our hands. Notice it here. Notice the rising and falling of your abdomen. Pay attention of how those knees come in the center, leaning towards each other. Now take your 3 deep breaths of gratitude for this pose. Helping us to come inward. And when you finish that third breath, slowly let those knees separate. Walk your feet a little closer. You can release those arms down by your sides. And if you have a blanket, maybe remove it. And we're going to extend those legs and those arms over your head. We're going to do a pose that is called the cat pulling its tail. So we're going to roll to the left side, but the right leg crosses. And then we bend the left knee, and with the right arm, maybe you hold that foot and you can arch your back a little. Arching your back is going to stimulate the gallbladder meridian. Notice the nice side stretch in a lateral, helping us to make wise decisions. Breathe in. Notice how from different pets, the cat requires a low maintenance. So let us learn that we don't need others as much as we think we need them. You need to find that love, that peace within you. Find that fountain. Feel those whiskers of intelligence so you can arrive to yourself. So this is a meditation. As we hold the pose, but we don't hold the breath. The breath keeps flowing rhythmically. And if you notice that your depth has changed, you can walk that head back a little more, maybe holding, reaching a little more towards the ankle with your right hand, and find that depth. A depth that is important. important for exploration and for finding treasures. Have your last 3 breaths here. And then at the end, gently release the folded leg, maybe the head. And then coming back into laying on your back. Inhaling, open those legs wide open, like a letter V. And then bring those arms towards the ceiling. Move those crests. Inhaling and exhaling. And then slowly release those arms down by your sides. Relax the toes. Inhaling, walk your feet together. Well, hip width distance apart. And then we're going to lift those hips up. Coming into your bridge pose just for a moment. So we can engage those glutes. So even though we're in a Yin Yoga class, now we realize that we need to engage the quadriceps and the glutes here. And the shoulders are very strong, are the foundation. Exhale slowly, coming down. Very nice. And then we're going to do, before going to the other side, we're going to do Bananasana. So we extend the legs and bring those arms over your head, and then walk the shoulders towards the left side, and then walk the legs towards the left side. So just like the name says, we're creating the shape of a banana. That sweet fruit that does not come individually, it comes in a bunch. So we come from a family, a group of people. Feel the delicious stretch on that right side. You can close your eyes at any moment. If you decide to close your eyes, remember that it is through dim light that melatonin, that hormone in the body, is produced naturally. So you can have a good rest every night. Feel those tendons near your rib cage, stretching and nourishing. Three breaths to say thank you for this opportunity and ready to move to the next pose. At the end of the third, slowly returning back center. And then bending the left knee into a half happy baby on that side. So you can even, if you can have the big toe, you can hold it, or you can hold the back of that knee or the ankle, or maybe the outside. But the main thing is to have the knee going towards your armpit of the left side, and that left foot to be facing towards the ceiling, like if you're going to walk on that ceiling. So there is an external rotation of that left hip. Breathe here. This is just half. That side. Opening our hips is like opening a window to refresh the air and circulation inside a house. It is important. It is necessary. Notice how the back of your head and the shoulders, especially the right shoulder, is touching the floor, your mat. Relaxing. You know, Yin Yoga is a practice of patience. Sometimes we want just to move faster or be done, especially with this coronavirus. I've heard many people saying, I'm hope, I'm looking forward when it's over. But let us be patient. Let us be here. Let us be in the moment. 3 deep breaths. And then at the end of that, slowly release that foot down. Very nice. Take a nice breath in a mini Shavasana. And then we're going to do the cat pulling its tail towards the right. So inhaling both arms up over your head. And then you're going to roll to the right side, but bringing the left leg up and to the front. Relax your head, arch back, bringing this left hand back and bending this right knee. Very good. So the first breaths that you spend into a pose is just like the examination of a doctor or the observation of the painter at the object that is going to be painted. So just observe, just notice how it feels having one leg extended, the other bent. And then allow your breath to soften the rigidity, not just in the muscles, but many times in the mind. Notice how one leg is towards the front, the other towards the back. So the past and the future. Yeah, we're coming from the past and we're going towards the future. But where we are right now is what is more important. We're in the present. So allow the sacredness of this breath. Feel the sound, just like the meow of a cat. Feel that breath sinking into your cells. It's a beautiful external rotation of the left shoulder. Feel the connective tissue there. Breathing in, breathing out. So many times I feel like Yin Yoga is kind of falling asleep in one pose, finding a stillness, finding comfort. But sometimes the pose it may be intense. Let us have 3 deep breaths to indicate the body that very, very soon it's time to keep moving. Nice. Finish your third one. And I don't need to mention that you need to be very careful, right? Sometimes the body feels like, oh, if it's getting broken. Good. Returning back, laying on your back. Inhaling, open those legs wide open, letter V, and then bring those arms up and make circles with the wrist. If for some reason you can hear the sound of the bones, tiny bones there in your wrist, it's a good sign. It's air, gas that is coming out. Breathe in, breathe out. Very nice. Slowly bringing those legs together. We're going to do Bananasana to the right side. So inhaling, bring those legs, arms up over your head, and then move the shoulders towards the right side. And then the legs too. But be attentive that both hips and both shoulders are still on the floor. Just like each fruit has its nutrients. Notice all the benefits from the muscles to the ligaments and the tendons. So the ligaments connect bone to bone, and the tendon connects bone to muscle. And then much deeper, we have the connective tissue. Soft, and allow your breath to give you permission to relax, to be here in this Yin Yoga class. There's no absolutes in life, so you cannot be all relaxing here, right? You cannot be all activating. So that's why the yin symbol is a circle. And then in the middle of the circle, there is a line, but not a line. It's like a letter S. So a curved line. So divided in two sides. And then one is painted black and the other white. But in the white part, there is a tiny circle that is black. And in the black side, there is a tiny circle that is white. So it indicates here what is happening. It is more relaxing, but yet we may need to be activating something, some part, some anatomical part of you. 3 more breaths. And slowly inhaling, returning back with the shoulders, with the hips, and then bending the right knee for half happy baby. Notice how one side is different from the other. Even though we wish we were symmetrical, but there's always differences, right? Due to the weather, to the environment, to our moods, to what we ate, to the people that we were interacting today. So sink into that right hip that is opening externally. Notice your heart expanding with every breath that you're taking. See if you can relax your lips and your teeth. Peace starts within us. So just like Yin help us to be patient, also invite us to find that fountain of peace within us. Don't collapse on the shoulders here, so feel the space. Three deep breaths to say goodbye to this pose of the happy half baby pose. And then slowly release. We're going to do an inverted position. So if you have a block, I have a block here close by. I'm going to bring it. And otherwise you can go to a wall too. So if you're using a block, you can bend those knees and then lift the sitting bones and sit down in the block. And then inhaling, elevate those legs up. And the legs are weightless. There is no effort. It is like floating. If you don't feel like that, so arrange the position of the block. So notice here how it is pressing more towards the back. And then close your eyes. Feel how one of the benefits of being in inverted positions is to reverse the circulation of the blood. We are usually standing all day long. The feet and the legs carrying our weight. And if we're overweight, it's a little extra on them. And in the legs, we have joints, the ankles and the knees. So notice how the synovial fluid of the knees right now is refreshing, vigorizing. Just by this simple position of having the legs up. All the veins in the legs are happier. So find those three components of your yoga practice here. Find your depth. Once you find it, be still. Know the kind of stillness that is holding the breath, like a witness that is seeing a robber or a murderer doing its behavior, but just like in awe, like an observer watching a butterfly taking food from a flower, the pollen. So allow that stillness that you can see the marble in every part of you right now. and your toes to your nose through the breath. After an inverted position, we can come in almost to the end. So take 3 deep breaths. And then if you have the block, I recommend to bend the knees and then plant one foot at a time. If you were on the wall, then you can just bend those knees. Let us remove the block if you have it. Good. And then let us open those arms in letter T. Bring those knees into the chest and then twist to the right as you turn towards the left. Sometimes in this space between one knee and the other, it is nice to have a block or roll in your blanket. A good note to observe here is the orientation of your hips and your shoulders, and the balance in between them is what makes this pose very interesting. Breathe in from the left fingertips, going through that left arm, left elbow, left armpit, left shoulder, going to the chest and the sternum, all the way to your right elbow, to the right wrist, and the fingertips. Inhaling now from the right, going all the way to the left. Exhaling. Allow your right hip to truly be supporting the other one. Your face is relaxed. Even the tongue inside your mouth is resting in a stillness. It has found its depth. Right? Our tongue cannot go all the way inside the throat. So it finds its proper, adequate depth. Just like we are learning with each asana. 3 breaths to say goodbye to this pose. Very nice. If you have the block, you can keep it there. Inhaling and slowly returning back center. Stay here for a moment. Maybe wiggle or move your toes, your ankles. Reestablish the shoulders. And then exhaling, going to the other side. Once the feet finds root, then you can turn your gaze, your head towards the right arm. Inhaling from the right fingers, all the way passing that right arm, the chest, the sternum, to the left hand. Feel those tendons near the armpits. Let your breath flow rhythmically in symphony with your heart, in symphony with your digestive system movement. So eventually, every part of your body starts to be one in unison, breathing. Three deep breaths. And at the end, slowly, you can remove the block. Coming back center. Bring those legs up a little. Circle those ankles, and then we can arrive to Shavasana. So once again, you can have your blanket if you want to cover yourself. I also have a eye pillow if you want to place it in your eyes. So make yourself comfortable. This will be the last resting pose. Marinate yourself into the pranic of the cosmos, where the divine energy is all around. Inhale faith, exhale fear. Let no external sound disturb you. Let nothing scare you. All things are passing. Patience can take you very far away. And if you have the divine within you, then you're lacking nothing. Be one with your breath. As you're relaxing deeper and deeper. May all the creatures of the night come to spread magic in you. When you're ready, start to take conscious breaths. And then invite any part of your body to start moving very gently. Notice the temperature of your body. Maybe you're moving your hands or your feet or your head and your neck. And only when you're ready, then you can roll to one side, coming into your fetus position. Stay here for a moment. Notice how the bottom hip, the bottom shoulder, the bottom leg serves as a foundation for the one on top. And inhaling now, use your muscles, especially the top leg and the top arm, so you can come and incorporate yourself into a seated position. If you have the blanket, kindly let it be by your side, or maybe you want to be covered by it. Inhale and bring those palms together into your heart. May this practice increase your faith, bring you peace and patience, and that you can release and let behind fear. From my heart to your heart, Namaste.